This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything cloud gaming related, and today I'm gonna be giving you my top recommendations for what you should pick up during this Stadia holiday sale. There are a ton of games on sale right now, and due to the holidays you may have run into some money or are looking to buy yourself a present. Well, I'm here to help you by giving you my top recommendations of what you should be picking up while it's on sale. Note that I will not just be suggesting games based on how good they are, but how good the Stadia version of the game happens to run. Rest assured that anything I'm recommending here is something that I've personally played on Stadia, and I'm hoping for your recommendations in the comments section below as well. Now we're gonna start with my favorite title on Stadia at this point in time, not only because it's a fantastic game, but the Stadia version is absolutely amazing. Doom Eternal is a fast-paced, arcadey first-person shooter that'll have you ripping and tearing through demons with elegance. You can currently pick up the Standard Edition for $19.79 or the Digital Deluxe Edition, which does include the Year 1 Pass for $29.69. This is a title that's been nominated for multiple Game of the Year awards, and it's really not much of a surprise because it is just an absolute blast to play. Now, to be very clear, this isn't your typical first-person shooter. There is a bit of strategy to how you move around, and you do have to think about how you approach a situation. It's a title that can be challenging for some, but you will notice a steady improvement as you play. As you can tell, I'm talking a lot about the gameplay, and that's because that's where this game truly shines. While it does offer a full-on narrative, it is a bit forgetful, and it's not something that you really need to know much about to actually enjoy the game itself. Lastly, this is much more of a personal opinion style thing, but this is by far the most impressive Stadia version of a game I've played to date. Not only does it run beautifully at 4K 60 FPS, but the input lag has been reduced patch after patch, and it's pretty much unnoticeable. I played from start to finish on mouse and keyboard, and I had an absolute blast doing so I would highly recommend picking this up if it seems to interest you. But now let's take a look at the polar opposite of Doom Eternal. Octopath Traveler is a title with great gameplay but even better writing. It's a JRPG that really is a callback to the classics with its very unique visual art style that both looks retro and new at the same time. You can currently pick it up during the Stadia sale for $29.99 US, and it is worth pointing out that this game rarely goes on sale. Now when it comes to the game itself, it follows the story of 8 different travelers, each featuring their own self-contained storyline. There's no sort of main evil or huge world event that's banding these people together. Each one of them has their own objective, and you can choose to complete which you want. It's a very different premise than pretty much any other JRPG out there. You see, this game doesn't really function with a main character because they're all important in their own way. You'll also get to choose which stories you want to complete in which order, so you can just tackle on the stories you find most interesting if you'd like. As for the battle system the game uses, well, it's actually very solid as well. Much like everything else about the title, it's a classic callback but with a modern twist. There's a break mechanic that combines extremely well with the boost system for each character. It adds yet another layer of turn-based strategy to the overall game, and it provides for excellent gameplay. Overall, it's a top-tier JRPG that I would highly recommend for anyone who's a fan of the genre, especially on Stadia since there aren't too many to choose from. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at another amazing port that also happens to feature crossplay with the PC version of the game. The Division 2 is a third-person looter shooter that has some tactical elements, some RPG elements, and has all the loot you could ever handle. You can pick up the Standard Edition for $13.49 US, the Warlords of New York Edition for $26.99, the Warlords of New York Ultimate Edition for $35.99, or just the expansion on its own for $13.49. It is worth noting that this title is included in the Ubisoft Plus subscription, so if you happen to be in the US and are subscribed, you can access the game right now. This title gets a lot of merit just based on how good of a port it is. It looks absolutely fantastic and it runs buttery smooth. Additionally, it provides a pretty decent narrative, but more than that, the gameplay is a lot of fun, especially when you group up with friends. The fact that it supports crossplay with the PC version also expands the player pool with who you can play with by quite a bit. Honestly, I spent a ton of time playing the Division 2 when it originally came out. There's a ton of content for you to explore and play through, and the endgame is also relatively fun. That being the case, I would highly recommend the Warlords of New York expansion. I do think it actually grows the the game quite significantly and in a very good way. The endgame also provides a variety of ways for you to enjoy the game, be it PvE or PvP. To be very clear though, this is not a full-on tactical third-person shooter, so don't go in expecting that. There are some elements of it, but the main focus here is more so the looter-shooter RPG experience. So go in this knowing well that there will be some bullet sponge type enemies that you'll have to deal with. The Stadia version of the game does also feature Stream Connect, so if you're playing with your buddies, you can share your screen and vice versa. Now the last title I'm going to recommend from this sale is one that was a Stadia Pro title at some point, but if you happen to miss out on it, I highly recommend you pick it up now. Just Shapes and Beats is an amazing indie game that supports both local and online co-op play. It's currently on sale for $13.99 US, and as you can tell by the title, it is a music rhythm-based indie game. The premise is super simple to understand, but absolutely fun to play. You play as a simple shape that has to avoid a ton of obstacles that get thrown at you on rhythm and beat with the song. It's very comparable to a bullet hell, but not as difficult as other games within that genre. The game truly shines when playing in co-op with others, and it becomes a blast to play as a party game. Due to the simple nature of the gameplay, it's very much so pick up and play. It's by far my favorite couch co-op game, but if you are playing it in single player, it is worth noting that a ton of time and effort was put into the actual campaign. The story mode itself is extremely charming, and I wasn't expecting that going into this title. Now I do need to point out that most of the music the game deals with is electronic in nature. Depending on who you are, that's either a positive or negative, but it really does flow all together very well, and I do hope to see a sequel that expands on the genres of music it plays with. All in all though, a very solid package, and for this price point, an absolute steal. Either way, that wraps up my top recommendations. Let me know yours in the comment section below. As a reminder, these deals will be gone January 6th, so if you plan on picking anything up, be sure to do so before then. Now if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is going to be asking you for what games you decided to pick up during this sale. There's an absolute ton of deals going on, and I know plenty of you are buying many games. Let me know your haul down in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to reading what you've got. As always, thank you for watching this video. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything cloud gaming related. The Gen S community is over 7,300 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.